Just remember what I always tell you. More millionaires were made in the Great Depression than any other time in history up until that point. Some of the best opportunities for investing you'll ever see in your lifetime will come out of times of chaos, or when there's a lot of moving parts, or when there's a lot of transition. Say, for example, going from the dollar we knew to understanding that we're going into a new financial paradigm now. People are starting to realize that we can't pay these debts. People are starting to realize that the economy itself is actually incredibly weak despite the stock market's performance and despite the fact that they're telling you that it's strong. Now, this video talks about 4 opportunities born out of all this chaos of this imploding economy. And understand that they're all active opportunities right now, but some of them will become even more incredibly lucrative depending on how bad it gets for the economy. It's happening either way. You can decide how you're going to react to it. Just before we get into opportunity number 1, I have to say something that because you're here, you're understanding how important it is to look directly into the blazing sunlight of this economic reality that we're facing. There's problems here that are going to suddenly matter. I've been talking about this for years. No one's aware of the situation. Everybody's looking the wrong way. That's how people are going to get blindsided, and it's not going to go well for them. You're here and you understand how important it is to look at the reality of the economic situation. So as you know, whether it's next year or 10 years from now, the mud is going to hit the fan. When it does, I want to be on the record of saying what's going to happen is that's when they're going to be able to take all the chaos and all the blood in the streets to move us all over into a digital dollar. And when they do that, we lose all autonomy. But everyone will cheer them on because the CBDC will be held up as the savior or the solution to all the problems that they created. The problems are coming either way. Now it's about who's going to point the finger and shift the blame. And when we're all panicking, it'll slide the digital dollar, digital money into our wallets, and that'll be that. They just go straight to the banks, and then all of a sudden it becomes a thing. I'll start you out slow, and then we're going to work up towards, and it's a build, towards opportunity number 4, which is active right now, and every single one of you should be getting involved with it. Opportunity 1. Value for value. Understand, I'm not talking about necessarily the economy that we're in. I'm talking about setting up ahead of time, thinking about it ahead of time to set up for the economy that we're going to be in. You skate to where the puck is going to be, not where it is. Value for value is true capitalism. You've heard about price discovery, free market capitalism. That's what this is. And capitalism, true pure capitalism, would solve every single financial problem we have, whether it's the debt, the deficit, overtaxation. The reason exchanges and markets work so well is because each individual player in it has complete autonomy to decide if they want to buy that stock, for example, or that asset, decide if they want to pay that price. Everybody has autonomy. That cannot be replicated by any government created or any kind of government designed program or policy. Free market capitalism has been around for just as long as humans have. And it's always perfect and it's never failed. What happens is that politicians think that it's their job to tweak this and tweak that, and it's for their best interest, so they do that. And then they make this Frankenstein beast of an economy that now we are all having to pay for. But the point is, I'm talking about the economy we're going to be going into, and you want to be ready when it gets here. There's so many moving parts, a lot of volatility. This is where all the chaos comes from. This is where all the opportunities come from. I would suggest that you be alert, move slowly, and always be on the lookout for compelling opportunities. Get a glass of wine, a cup of coffee, sit in the quiet and think half an hour. I talk about an upthinking to work smart, not hard. It could change in half an hour just sitting there in the quiet. And I'm serious, do this. It could actually save you a lot more than a half an hour of time. It could make you thousands of dollars more, hours of times it could save if you just make one decision that takes you in a better direction or a different direction. But I do believe the economy is going to get pretty bad. And so you're going to want to look into things like side hustles. Side hustles are great, and for a lot of people, that's all you need to do. What is the lifeblood of this wonderful economy that we've built? This wonderful nation that we've established? The lifeblood of that is small business. And anyone can start a business, and anyone can be very successful running a business. One of the best things I've ever done in my life is become an entrepreneur, to run a business. Even during the hard times, it was better. Even during the hard times, it was worth it. Because no one ever told me what to do. And you live or die based on your decisions. That's an empowering force that means that you think about business 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. All you have to remember is the mantra that I opened up this opportunity with is value for value. If you understand that you can provide a value for someone and they'll give you back money for it, there's your business right there. And it's easier than you think, and anybody can run a business. Pretty soon, a lot of us are going to have to be. Opportunity 2. You may agree with me that we're going to get into double-digit unemployment. You might also agree that we're going to have a pretty significant recession. Like we talked about earlier, when there's blood on the streets, where people start throwing the baby out with the bathwater because they're trying to unload their stocks or whatever they're trying to unload, there's a lot of tremendous values there. And again, it's going to be a setup that happens either way, with or without your involvement. Would you like to invest well into these kinds of things? Assets. People are going to be getting rid of all sorts of assets at very surprisingly undervalued prices. Whether you're talking about a used pickup truck or an 8-story office building, a restaurant, residential, commercial real estate, boats, cars, any asset. Because once the economy starts going the wrong way and you start seeing stocks coming down and real estate coming down, this is all happening at once and people lose the wealth effect. They're going to be looking to get rid of assets sometimes just to cover a cash crunch or maybe a margin call. If you're ready to go, have a little bit of cash ready to go, and sort of have an idea of what kinds of assets you'd be interested in acquiring at a lower price. Maybe you're looking to start a restaurant. That restaurant will become a lot cheaper not too long in the future from now. So don't buy it now, buy it then. For anyone who's ready, keeping their eye on this stuff, you're going to see many tremendous values. Just remember what I always tell you. More millionaires were made in the Great Depression than any other time in history up until that point. Opportunity 3. You guys knew I was going to get to this opportunity, but I promise I'm not going to hit you over the head with a sledgehammer of promotion. I'm going to say one thing and float a couple of testimonials around on screen. We have a business to run, and we are the best at what we do. No question about that. So I'm just going to do that really quickly. Then we're going to move on to what I call the big one, opportunity number 4, which you absolutely need to get involved with. You should already be. We apply 29-point leads analysis to thousands of stocks. We find the best ones to get onto our short list, and when they're at opportune prices, we reveal them to you. Lots of people are turning hundreds of dollars into thousands of dollars. This is an opportunity because if you're ever going to do it, now is the time to do it. You're having trouble with inflation? Don't become a victim to all this, all these higher prices. Why not turn the hundreds of dollars you do have into some thousands of dollars? That's an opportunity, and you can act on it right now. Opportunity number 4, this is what I call the big one. This is the commodity super cycle. And don't think it's about gold only or silver only. It's not precious metals. Just bear with me and listen to this. Here's a definition from Motley Fool of a super cycle, defined as a sustained period of expansion driven by robust growth and demand for products and services. Super cycles tend to produce sustained, strong demand for raw and manufactured materials such as metals and plastic. Plastic is made out of oil, so that's gold and oil, basically, they're saying. Super cycles, which are also good for stock prices, are often associated with long-term periods of growth for the commodity markets. And I've been doing a lot of work and analysis to try and figure out how long this super cycle, which has now begun, is going to last. And my range goes from, in the shortest period of time, it'll be about 8 years. In long term, or if it goes a lot longer, it'll be 12 to 14 years. When you have a long sustained period of low commodity prices, as we had recently, what happens is that a lot of the marginal mines get curtailed, shut down, closed up, sold off. And if they ever want to get back online, this applies to a lot of the oil production companies too, but it's a lot slower with metals mining. They want to get back online. That's many, many years before their resources actually going to hit the market and even have any kind of effect against the super cycle. There will still be so much strong demand, and the power of the super cycle will be a lot greater than any amount of gold and silver that can be produced by a lot of these mines. And I'm not just talking about precious metals, so let's get into that. So you want to reopen a mine, but you need 100 workers in the middle of nowhere. How long do you think that takes them to acquire the workforce, set up a base camp so they can survive there, train them, get them there? It's going to be an incredibly long process for a lot of these mines to get back online. Another point of our analysis that gives us the understanding that we're looking at 8 years on the short end is that China is going to curtail their gold purchasing, but not until they become the world's second largest gold holder. Let me get into the numbers to explain exactly what I mean. I'm just showing you the quarterly gold purchases and sales by central banks. That's quarter 1, 2023, quarter 2, 2023, quarter 3, 2023, quarter 4, and quarter 1, 2024. You guys are noticing that China is either first or second every time, right? Chinese gold ETFs recorded the strongest ever monthly demand. Inflows 5 months in a row. Chinese gold ETFs recorded their strongest monthly inflow on record. Here's a chart of monthly fund flows and Chinese gold ETF holdings. China's official gold reserves rose 18 months in a row. Gold's share in China's reserves rose to the highest level on record. A stable March pushed Q1 imports to the highest level since 2015. Gold imports reached the highest in 9 years. Are you guys paying attention? Is it too soon to call that the winner in this economic transition period that the world is facing right now is going to be Asia, India, China, all the nations that are buying gold? If China acquired 1,161 more tons of gold, they would overtake Russia, France, Italy, and Germany, and then become the world's second largest owner of physical gold. And the first largest owner is America, and that would take another 5,941 more tons than they currently have. In other words, it wouldn't even take a lot, even if you take into account the fact that China is producing gold in their own nation. It's being dug up in China and kept in China, and that they're importing more gold. Start doing that math, and you look at, I've showed you how many tons per quarter China's been picking up, and you always see China at first or second top acquirer of gold in every quarterly period as far as I can remember. Almost. Even just with their organic growth that they're already having, they could make it up to the second largest gold holder a lot more easily than to become the first largest. So we believe they're going to become the second largest, and that's when they're going to start curtailing all this aggressive buying that they've got towards gold. Remember that China produces the most gold. They also import the most gold. And at current rates, they will be the number 2 gold owner within about 2 years. But it's a total commodity supercycle. Every commodity, pork bellies, base metals, aluminum, cotton, coffee. There's so many opportunities to get involved with the commodity supercycle literally right when this video ends. Today, right now. There's ETFs. You want to trade silver, corn, energy, oil, gold. You can do all that with just ETFs, or you can get involved in some of the stocks that we talk specifically about that are in the gold mining industry, for example. Okay, this is trading economics, commodities markets, and here you can see various commodities, and you can also notice that you've got how they performed year over year. So Brent crude is up 10%, etc., etc. But the point is, with the commodity supercycle, all of these numbers year over year, next year, will be significantly higher. Gold's up 23% year over year, silver 34%. Exactly what I was explaining, how silver will increase by a percentage basis more than gold does. Copper's up big time. That's in everything. Copper is used more than just about any other metal. But like I tell you, you can even get into soybeans, oats, sugar, tea, butter. All of these numbers will be significantly higher 1 year from today. And it will only increase as the commodity supercycle plays out and expands. All base metals, all physical metals, lumber, even commodities like soybeans. Money flows will be coming into commodities from all angles. An added benefit is a lot of the stuff is incredibly low risk. Not all of it, but if you want to buy an ETF of GLD or for corn or for cotton, there's ETFs for everything nowadays. Now remember that the tough times are going to happen either way. You got to decide how you're going to get through them. What are you going to do? What decisions are you going to make? The point of this video is to give you some food for thought, get your wheels turning, because you're going to need to maybe start a side hustle or a business. You're going to want to invest in some of these commodities, super cycle stocks or ETFs, or even the physical metals themselves if you can do it. You're going to want to turn hundreds into thousands by investing in the right kinds of stocks. And you're going to want to keep your eyes open for all these tremendous opportunities that are setting up to start playing it. You don't want to wait till they start playing it, because then everybody else is looking at them too. You want to get it set up now so that you're ahead of the game. That's why we're always upstream from everybody else. That's why they're talking about stuff that we talked about 5 years ago. Be ready to act. Think about acting. Get your mind space right first, so that when the perfect opportunity shows up, you know exactly what it is, how you're going to take advantage of it, and you're going to save a lot of money based on what you would have had to pay for it today. Now, if you want direct contact with me by email, you can do that for $3 a month or less if you join the Peter Leeds Insiders.